So I had a band in college, and I then realized I needed to book it. So I started calling venues. I knew nothing about it. I still didn't realize there was a business of music. I just knew there were bands and performances, and you saw them on TV, you heard them on the radio, or you read about them. So I started to book us. You know, we were living in the Valley, and one day.
What instrument did you switch to?
I didn't switch to anything. I sang. Whoops.
Oh, okay.
People say if don't sing, Garfield, because no one would believe you've been in the music business if you sing. So I made my instrument of choice the telephone. What do you play? I play telephone. So it was an era of upheaval, and I was called by a couple of young people who were buddies of mine that had moved and migrated from Ann Arbor to Los Angeles, and they were living in Laurel Canyon. They called me and said, "Would you want to make some money this week and sell posters?" And it'll be at a Jimi Hendrix concert. I'm saying, "Oh my God, Jimi Hendrix, and you get paid?" So I went and sold posters. And at the end of the evening, when we were counting the posters in and paying off, the road manager, the royalties, this fellow with a big bushy beard and very long hair came over to me and said, "Hey kid, I like the way you handle yourself. Here's my card. Call me at my office. Come by." And to that point in life, the only office I'd ever been to was the doctor, the dentist, the dean of admissions, and sometime once or twice the principal's office. And I walked in. He was a well-known producer and songwriter named Jerry Goldstein. And as I walked in his reception, I saw gold records and different awards. And it started to crystallize. It was a business of music. So he had, tried to hire me. And I said, I really don't want to leave school. And I would go out on weekends, though, because I didn't have a class on Friday or Monday. And I'd go on the weekends. And my job was to go along with a group that was on some sort of a regional tour and sell the posters. And this went on. I went out with Jimi Hendrix. I went out with Donovan. I went out with a bunch of different artists. And then finally, one autumn, he said, "Listen, I really want you to come to work for me full time." And the Cream are going on their final farewell tour. And I think I was just 20 years old. And I was, idolized them. I had their tape in my car all the time. So I bailed. I gave my parents coronaries, but I bailed on university. And I was also I was just like taking the classes or sticking with the classes that meant something to me: philosophy, psychology, music.
Yeah.
What did I need a second or third language? Why did I need calculus? I didn't feel the need for that, organically. So I went on the road with the Cream, and there was an opening act called Terry Reid. It had a British tour manager. Now, I didn't hang out with the band. I was like still starstruck. And I cried the last night of the tour because it was so monumental to see Eric Clapton and Jack Bruce, 30, 40 nights. It was like, my God, I'd never in my life expected something like this would happen. And after the tour was over, I happened to bump into the tour manager of Terry Reid at the JFK in the TWA terminal. He screamed, "Garfield, Garfield, you blank, blank." And he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Back to Los Angeles." He goes, "Oh, do you fancy Jimmy Page?" I said, "Oh my God, I've been a Yardbirds fan forever." "Well, we're coming to LA next month with his new band, Led Zeppelin. Why don't you come down?"